On the 14th night of August 2015, it was a nice, warm night. Not a cloud in the sky, revealing all of the stars. The Destiny Circus was back in town. Everyone was excited to see the show that night. A beautiful girl by the name of Maddi Vivian Baker was our main mime that night. Her first big solo was coming up. She was so excited to perform for the general public, and of course, her girlfriend, Riley Dana Jones. Oh, she was the most beautiful girl that you've ever seen. Long, flowing navy hair that went down to her shoulders. However, the top put in a little bun. The brightest gray eyes that shimmered in the moonlight. She worked in the tightrope section. She had the most amazing costumes ever. Anyways, Maddi was getting ready backstage, putting on her makeup, when the tightrope walkers came into the room. Riley came over and kissed Maddi on the head.
"You're gonna kill it, my dear. I love you."
Maddi smiled, turning pink.
"Thanks, hun. You're going to do amazing, too."
All right. Who's excited for the show tonight?
The voice rang throughout the tent speakers. It was the Ringmaster. Maddi sprung up like a dog, running to the curtains, waiting for her cue.
"I can't hear you."
He taunted the audience, which sparked a loud cheer. She gulped in fear but ran out into the ground. Goofing off with the Ringmaster, pretending to be a lion, she jumped on her toes with her hands and claws. He jumped back.
"Whoa, is that a lion?"
She chased them around, the dirt being kicked up as they fooled. She jolted to a stop when she saw the tightrope walkers walk out. A man by the name of Daniel Alex Rose, who has been rude and cocky to Maddi since her first day there, including trying to take Riley from Maddi. Oh, she hated him. He has played so many things on her, it was almost unreal. She tried to ignore him and kept going. She walked over to Riley like a lost dog. She ran around her in circles. Riley was trying not to laugh. She pulled out a little plastic skull as an example of Shakespeare. She cleared her throat without noise. Daniel smirked and quietly mumbled,
"Oh dear, don't trip on your words, dumb mime."
That was the last straw. She lost it. Losing full control of her mind and body, she pounced on him, repeatedly punching him in the face. He began to cry.
"I'm sorry, please stop."
Riley had to pull her off.
"Maddi, this isn't like you."
Maddi glared over. The anger and fear in her eyes were almost overpowering. She ran off to the tightrope, cracking off an old rusty bar and running back over to Daniel, bashing him over and over until he started to bleed. She kept hitting him, which made him start to scream.
"Maddi, I'm sorry. I never meant what I said. Please stop. You're killing me."
She smiled manically.
"You want to see killing you? I'll show you that I can kill you."
She turned it, moving the sharp end towards him.
"No, I never meant it. Spare me, please."
She stabbed him in the chest repeatedly. Riley stumbled back.
"Maddi, you're a monster."
She started to run before Maddi knocked her over, kicking her back.
"I'll be back for you, my dear."
Maddi started to go after the other circus performers, killing them one by one to the point of where the Destiny Circus population went from 23 to 10. The screams and gasps of the audience drowned out every other noise. Maddi found a dagger lying on the floor from one of the jugglers. With the only thought on her mind being homicide, She picked it up and started to run over to Riley. She knocked her down yet again, and then stabbed Riley in the chest, right under the ribcage. She fell in shock.
Maddie, please say I'm dreaming. Please, wake me.
Maddie snapped out of her murderous rampage.
Riley. No. Riley!
Maddie started to cry. Riley sighed.
Well, I guess this is it. At least I get to die here.
Riley lifted her arm and put her hand on Maddie's cheek.
With you.
Maddie kissed her hand.
You're not gonna die. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna...
Riley shushed her.
It's okay, baby. I love you.
Riley went limp, dying in Maddie's arms.
I love you too. Wait, no. Come back to me. Riley!
Maddie screamed. She lowered her head.
Please don't die on me. Not now.
A shadow started to loom over her. She kept crying, her makeup taken off in streaks from the tears. She looked up to face the shadow that was standing right next to her. It was the Ringmaster. He had his hands behind his back.
Oh, Maddie, I don't want to do this, but based off the events of tonight, I must.
He said in an almost mocking tone.
What do you mean, Felix?
She said, a shake in her voice. He sighed and lifted his arms, axe in hand.
All right, nighty-night!
He yelled while he aimed for her head.
No!
She cried before getting her skull split in half. And that was the end of Maddi Vivian Baker. Or so you would think.
All right, nighty-night!
He yelled while he aimed for her head.
No!
She cried before getting her skull split in half. He began to laugh. He lifted the axe, slashing her heart to make sure she was dead. He turned to face the audience.
Good night, Oh.
He saw a few performers left.
Guess I can't just leave you here, can I?
He started to dash after the others, whistling, killing them all one by one. By the time he got to the second chorus, they were all gone, dead, 6 feet under. He went to backdiving to the portal of hell. He started to sing.
There ain't no strings on me.
Everything was pitch black. She opened her eyes to see a whole new world. She jumped up in a state of shock and fear.
Oh, you're awake! How you feeling?
A small man turned to her. She blacked out for 1 second before
Whoa! What the heck?
her right hand spoke, but was cut off by her left.
Watch your tone.
The small boy jumped.
Whoa-ho-ho! What was that?
He yelled.
Hey, you're very loud, small man.
The right spoke again,
For the first time, I agree with you.
replied the left.
Hey, for one, that was rude. Two, can we please stop the chatter so I can speak?
Everything went quiet. The man sighed.
Finally. Anyways, welcome to Spiral. My name is Preston, and my, what's happening here?
He moved closer and went to go touch her left hand to inspect it.
Hey, what do you think you're doing, Pointy Teeth?
The left hand called out. Preston jumped back and touched one of the fangs to see if they were actually that pointy. And they were. She turned over.
First, can you get me out of here?
The right protested.
Please, I don't want to deal with them.
The left and right continued to bicker and bicker. Preston watched in awe, trying to figure out how it may have happened. He looked at her head. There was a long stitch in the middle of it. Usually, stitches represent how they may have died. That made him even more suspicious. He looked at his phone, wondering whether or not to call Jade. He put his phone away and decided to finally end the loud bickering.
Hey!
He yelled. The hands stopped talking and turned to look at him. Maddi looked too. The whole time, her face had the expression of fear, along with confusion and stress. He bent down to level up with her. She was still sitting on the ground. She was too weak to stand up. He looked her in the eyes. She looked back. Then he looked at the 2 hands and the stitch in her head. He began to try to piece things together, but in the end, they wouldn't add up. Then he began to speak to her in a soft voice to try to calm her down.
Do you know why any of this is happening?
He asked. She shook her head. He looked down.
Well, I mean, of course you don't. You just got here a few minutes ago.
He chuckled and looked back at Maddi. She had the look of fear and panic on her face.
Right, this isn't any laughing matter. This is an important situation.
He stood up and put his hand on his chin, trying to think. His finger rose to the air and his face lit up. Maddi tilted her head in confusion.
How about you come to my lab, then we try to figure out what's going on with your talking hands?
She nodded and tried to stand up. She fell to the floor. Preston caught her just in time.
Whoa, you okay? How about I carry you?
She smirked and nodded. The right screamed.
Good luck!
Hey, my name is Iris, formerly Maddi Vivian Baker, but I prefer you use Iris or Vivian. I was born in a small town in Ontario. My mom's name is Joanna Emily Baker, and my dad's name was Jonathan Matthew Baker. When I was 5, my dad got in an accident, and that made my mom kind of absent. She was never really there for me. I had to rely on anyone else. She never helped. I had to do everything around the house, like cleaning. I had to teach my own self to study at a young age, and anyways, no need to get really emotional here. I don't want to start crying. I died when I was 24, so now I'd be 29.
Iris, we don't age.
Well, I say that I'd be 29 because it makes me feel like I'm still alive. Because for some reason I don't find comfort in the idea that I'm dead. Anyways, you probably knew about my backstory up to my death, and now a little bit about my childhood. But how about I give you some other things about myself? Fact 1. I am panromantic asexual. Fact 2. I am 5'4". Yeah, I'm kind of small. Fact 3. My birthday is October 4th, 1996. Mark your calendars, everybody. Fact 4. I like ice cream, comedy, juggling, and plushies. Ooh, my favorite ice cream is probably vanilla, and I really, really like plushies. That's a really easy way to get to my heart. Just any plushie. I don't like my old name, Maddi. Cocky people, ooh, they make me angry. Being ignored and flip-flops. Oh, I hate flip-flops. They look so bad. Like, either choose to neither have shoes on at all, or put actual, sneakers on, or slides, or something. Not flip-flops, anything but flip-flops. I am scared of abandonment, pain, and bees. Oh, I don't like bees. They are terrifying.
Oh, did you know that bees communicate by dancing?
I don't want to communicate with bees. Anyways, feel free to ask more questions in the comments. Thank you. Bye-bye.